time to get a little fiendish. Hi, I'm ReveloGM and this is Meet the Monster. We've now finished all the level -1 creatures in Monster Core 1 onto level 0. First enemy is actually a different one, which we will return to, but this way we get to tackle our first devil, and also our first fiend. This is the Ort, also known as the Drudge Devil. Have a look, seems drudgy to me. Yeah, this sludgy guy is a medium-sized devil with the mindless and unholy traits, as well as the fiend trait. Put a pin in that. Monster Core says the following about them. These shapeless masses of quivering flesh are the least of devil kind. Pathetic creatures from Hell's first layer, Orts roam alongside damned and suffering souls. Nasaris can combine the essence of a mob of Orts to concentrate their collective wickedness within a single form, granting it an infernal sentience and transforming it into a more powerful devil. Nasari are tyrant devils, you know, kind of the big bosses of Hell. And whilst we're at it, let's cover Pathfinder devils in general too. Masters of corruption and architects of conquest, devils seek both to tempt mortal life to join in their pursuit of all things profane and to spread tyranny throughout all worlds. The temptations they offer mortals range from great powers granted by the signing of an infernal contract to twisted favours allowing a whispered pledge to a diabolic patron, or any number of even subtler exchanges. Those who succumb to these temptations find themselves consigned to an afterlife of endless torment in the pits of hell, wherein the only hope of escape lies in the chance of being promoted to become a devil in the infernal ranks. Every devil has a specific role to play in the upkeep of the remorseless bureaucratic machine that is Hell, from soldiers and scholars to inquisitors, lawyers, judges, and executioners. Lowly Orts, that's these guys, perform subservient labour for more powerful and specialised devils such as infantry and contract devils, while the greatest Nasaris command entire infernal armies. So, Orts, bottom of the food chain, even further down than Imps, who are level 1. They have the devil trait, which tells us they form one of the many regiments of Hell, though they're kind of below the regimented level, I suppose. They also have the fiend trait, as they are closely tied with Hell, an unholy plane. Or the 9 Hells, you know the idea. And as a result, they have the unholy trait, which means they are tied to an unholy cause or plane, and are usually weak to holy damage and tend to be more effective against holy creatures. That thing flips both ways. And finally, you may have guessed it, they have the mindless trait, which means mental effects do not work on them and they usually don't have an intelligence of above -4. As you may expect from such a creature, they are not observant at all, they have a +0 to their perception, though they do still have greater dark vision, as most dwellers of the Hells do, which means they can see through darkness that is also created through magical means such as spells. They are trained in one skill, athletics, which makes sense as they are essentially manual labourers, but that is it. It's a +6, which is high for level 0, but they don't have anything else. They may not have muscle, but they are also just muscle. I mean, I guess they're flesh, they might have muscle. Anyway, as for their attributes, their strength is +2, which is alright, their dex is a 0, their con is +3, which is high at this level, intelligence, as we said, low, it's -5 here, wisdom is at 0, charisma is -3. They don't really have faces, so that definitely doesn't help their situation. So yeah, it's a moderate strength, it's a high con, otherwise it's pretty bad across the board. About what you'd expect from some sludgy guy. Anyway, what are their defences? Well, their AC is low at 13, most of the rest of it is better by comparison. Their fortitude saves are high at +9, and reflex is surprisingly solid at a moderate score of +6. Their will is below low at a +2, but when you're mindless, that is a lot less of a debuff as mental abilities and spells do not affect you. They have 20 hit points too, which is high, pushing extreme for level 0 creatures. They are also immune to fire and mental damage and resistant to physical damage, a physical 3, unless the weapon is silver. They have poison 5 resistance and also weakness holy 3. The numbers on the ends of these relate to how much damage you need to do before they actually start taking damage from this damage type in regards to resistance, and how much extra damage they take whenever you deal that damage type. Max resistance for level 0 is supposed to be 3, so that poison 5 is very solid. I guess it's hard to poison a block of fat. Their move is a little bit slower at 20 feet, but it's not awful. Anyway, on to attacks. Well, attack. They only have one claw. Yeah, they're not exactly meant for fighting. This is at a +8 though, with the magical, unholy, and agile traits. Magic is the nature of the attack, means it can bypass some resistances in specific cases. Agile reduces the penalty for follow-up attacks from -5s to -4, from -10 to -8. And unholy means the attacks are more powerful against holy creatures usually. +8 is a high attack modifier for level 0 too, so that's pretty good. And the damage is not awful, it's not great, it's average, it's 1d4 +2 slashing damage. Okay, so they can hit for a little bit of damage, but that's not great by itself, but that's by design. Let's have a look at their other rule, Subservience. Orcs have little drive of their own, but other devils can take command of them. A non-Orc devil can issue a command to all Orcs within 60 feet of it with a single action, which has the auditory, which means, requires speaking, volume, and concentrate, which certain debuffs and things will restrict. The devil picks one of the following orders that the Orcs can understand, and the Orc follows that order. Simple. The command and its effects end if the commander becomes out of the Orc's sight, or when a new command is issued by the same or another devil, or when the Orc dies, unsurprisingly. Kill! The Orc attacks one target the commander points out and has a +1 circumstance bonus to its attack rolls against the target. +8 was already high, +9 is pushing into crit territory. Remember, in Pathfinder, you crit if you hit 10 or higher on the AC of an enemy. Against a wizard or someone with lower AC, a +9, if you roll high on the dice, is very much looking like a crit. It's not a whole lot more damage, to be fair, on a d4 +2, but still worth keeping in mind. Defend. The Orc circles its commander and attacks any creature that comes near it. It gains a +1 circumstance bonus to its AC and to its saves. Makes its AC slightly better, but it makes those saves very solid, especially Fortitude. Fetch. The Orc gains a +10 foot circumstance bonus for its speed, which makes it faster than regular, and attempts to get an object or person the commander singles out. It attacks anyone or anything that gets in its way. And work. The Orc performs drudge work dictated by its commander. Work is less useful in combat, but makes sense to be included, and fetch could be useful for an interesting chase or capture the flag-esque situation. As an aside, working on these videos takes quite a bit of time, so if you could subscribe and like the video, that would be amazing. And that's the Orc. Not very useful alone, but more dangerous when aiding a more powerful devil. Easy to hit, but quite tanky thanks to high HP, saves, and some damage resistance, even if the damage output is low. So yeah, more of a supporting enemy than one you're going to fight solo. So how could we tweak them? Well, I think you could have fun with kind of an Orc-Imp combo. Imps are level 1, but have less hit points, so perhaps they've managed to armor up an Orc, or a few of them, increasing their AC a little to 14 or 15, and included a little command box on the top of one of them for themselves. Kind of like a tank commander sort of thing. Maybe most of the Orcs are still regular, but there's this one command Orc that has a higher AC and has an Imp controlling the surrounding Orcs. Imps are small in size, by the way, so that works as well because the Orcs are medium in size. The Imp can give out commands to the Orcs from relative safety and can only be targeted once their command Orc is defeated. Of course, we also know that Orcs can already be combined by Tyrant Devils into much more powerful devils themselves, which is cool, but maybe an experiment with such a thing went wrong, and you could instead just have a giant fleshy Orc, greater in size and having now got infernal intellect, but it's still just this mass of flesh that tries to add more and more creatures into itself to become even larger. Kind of a gluttony vibe over here. Like the Absorbaloth. I'm sure someone gets that reference. He's from the twin planet of Raxacoricophalopatorius, if that helps. Anyway, that could make for a fun twist. Perhaps the devils are scared of this creature now that this abomination, as well as a fiend, has this ability to absorb them and gain more power, and so maybe they employ the help of an adventuring party to defeat the creature. Perhaps because they'll be safe, or just because it's safer to get them to do it anyway. So that's a fun plot hook, I think. Maybe damaging it causes Orcs to fall off and now attack as regular Orcs, but this greater Orc is able to give them commands like the other devils. Other plot hooks for these guys? I mean, they're usually mindless, so it's not a lot there, but perhaps there is some army or great leader of a nation that has signed a contract with the devil to have Orcs as foot soldiers in his army, with a cursed brooch or amulet or something that allows him to command them over maybe a wider distance. And now the party have been employed by some other army or noble to go on a heist to steal this magical item for them. But do they hand it over, keep it for themselves, or destroy it? And what does the devil that gave this item to that other person who signed the contract have to say about this? Otherwise, I mean, they're drones. They could make for useful guards outside of the hells, as they look menacing and scary, and they can patrol without being tired by just being ordered. But if you try and slip past them, you'll often find that they are in fact incredibly unobservant. They're more threatening by not knowing anything about them than actually being threatening. And that's about it for the Orc. Have you used these Drudge Devils in your games? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, like, comment and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.